Alright, so this video is called No More Distractions. In order for us to move forward, we have to eliminate everything that's in front of us. Get rid of it, move it to the side, put it on the, put it somewhere, put it on the shelf or something. Like, we gotta move all these distractions away from us. And the whole Moors conversation, the Moors talking about their indigenous here and there. The Moors were never a bloodline, like I explained to you guys for over 10 years now. Moors are not a bloodline at all, right? This is one definition of a Moor: an officer in the Isle of Man who summons the courts for several sheddings. The office is similar to the English bailiff of 100, right? So it's telling you a job title, but even before Moor was a job title, Moor was just something religious, right? Never bloodline, never ethnicity, just a political, religious identity, right? So to our left, let's look to our left for a moment. Here on AI, like I told y'all, I'll be debating with AI a lot, and I ask questions, right? To make sure that I'm right on a lot of things, which I have been. But it says, let's revisit the Moors situation about them not being a bloodline. This is me talking to AI. So AI then says, here's a clean, factual, non-stereotype breakdown. You're asking for, Choctaw Mac, revisiting the Moors situation and why Moor was never a bloodline, never a race, and never in ethnicity. It was always political, religious, and geographic category and not a genetic one. I'll keep this tight, structured, and grounded in real history. So, it says, number one, Moor was never a bloodline. Across all credible historical sources, Moor meant Muslim people from North Africa, right? So when they say that they are indigenous to America, that's a lie. It says people from the Maghreb, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, people living under Islamic rule in Iberia, Spain, Portugal. Once again, this is not American. This is not the United States of America. This is not the Americas that the Moors are at, right? A political, religious identity, not a racial one. Then it goes on to say, it did not mean a single race, a single tribe, a single ancestry, a single genetic lineage. Moor equals Muslim political identity. And this is what these people are pushing today, because these people are no different than communists. They are part of communism or socialism, right? But it goes on to say, Moor is not a biological bloodline. Let's scroll down some more. This is why medieval Europeans use Moor to describe Arabs, Berbers, Amazigh, Sub-Saharan Africans, mixed populations, anyone living under Islamic rule in Iberia. Mixed populations, that means a so-called black person, so-called white person, so-called black in Spain, So Moors were white and colored, so-called white and colored folks. They could both be Moors, right? Now let's read number two. Why modern groups get this wrong. Groups like the Moor Science Temple misinterpret Moor as a race, a bloodline, a lost nationality, a genetic identity. But historically, this is not accurate. MST uses Moor as a cultural identity. Historians use Moor as a political geographic identity. Two different meanings. This is why MST claims Benjamin Banneker was a Moor, which a lot of Moors do that, right? All African Americans are Moors. This is what the MST claims, right? Moorish American is a nationality, but none of these matches historical documentation. Number three, what the historical record actually shows. Moor equals people from Muslim North Africa. Moor equals people living under Islamic rule in Spain. Wait. Before I continue on, people living under Islamic rule in Spain. Living under Islamic rule. So this is what kills me when the Moors say they've been running the world. They the great leaders. They created this and that. No, you were under Islamic rule, meaning you were subjects. You were under Islamic rule. You were subjects. Then it says Moor equals a political religious category. A political religious category. So you want people to give up being Indians, which that's a political identity, right? A political status actually, and it means landowner or owners of the land. That's what Indian mean in America for the American Indian. But you want us to give that up because you're working with the white persons to steal land. This is what this is. And if you guys ever notice, this is why the Moors always talk about squatting. They're squatters. But let's continue. Moor equals a geographic term. So it says X. Moor was not a race, a tribe, a bloodline, a genetic identity, a Pan-African identity, a Native American identity. This is why historians say Moor was a cultural and religious term, not an ethnic one. So then it goes on to say why this matters for your Choctaw research. You're tracing political identity, not racial identity. Just like Moor was political, not racial, Indian was political. But like I told y'all, Indian means different from Moor. Indian means owners of the land. Moors do not mean that. Indian is not racial, but they turned it racial to have control over the racial term Indian, right? This is, man, look, I'm going to break it down in the next video. This is going to be crazy. But then white person was legal, not racial. Wars are under the title white persons, free white persons, not white person, but free white persons, right? So the Moors were created here in the United States. They are not indigenous here. Once again, Moors were created as a race here. Before they created Moors as a race, as free white persons, they did not exist as a race or a so-called people, right? So now color was illegal, was legal, not racial. Choctaw was national, not racial, right? So the U.S. later racialized everything, turned Indian into race, like I said, turned white into a privileged class, turned Moor into a racial myth, turned Choctaw into blood quantum, right? But originally, these were political identities, not biological ones. This is why your treaty argument works, because now they're talking about what me and Copilot been talking about, and I've been debating, right? So it says, but originally these were political identities, not biological ones. This is why your treaty argument works. Choctaw equals political nation, a political people, and a bloodline, right? Moor equals political identity. There's a difference between a political nation, because a nation is a bloodline, right? Families. Political identity is more individualized. Indian equals political status. So you have your nation, right, underneath your political status. Your political status is Indians not taxed. Your political status is that you're owners of the land. You're not like the other groups, right? So this is why I don't get mad when people call themselves more cool. Hey, cool. You be that, but make sure you have the proof to claim that, you are who you say you are, right? And then it goes on to say white equals a legal category. None of these were originally about blood. Well, that's not true with the Choctaws because I got the treaties from the 1700s. Yeah, they were always talking about family, so that's not true. I have to correct AI on that in my debate. But the core truth, right? To sum everything up, Moor was never a bloodline. It was a political, religious, geographic identity. MSTA, Moor Science Temple, uses a different meaning than historians. The U.S. racialized identities that were originally political. Choctaw identity is political, not racial. That is correct. We are not race. White people created the race stuff. We are a bloodline. Political and a bloodline. That's it. Not racial. And then it says just like Moor, but yeah, political like Moor. Well, racial. Well, no, because they did turn Moor into a race in 1870 under free white person. But yeah, you guys get the gist of it. But anyways, that concludes this video. I hope this was informational. And from here on out, no more distractions. Have a good day, y'all.